to the next
Thank
one.
you, thank you.
That was a good one, Rob. All right, so the next one is actually mine. So, and this is some shenanigans for sure. Last week, our own Gianni Storm created this very hilarious and very accurate TikTok video.
Let him know, Gianni. Let him
For
know.
those listening on the podcast, Gianni is walking by by a background of protesters at the Capitol, and it says, "If it were me, they would have shot my black ass." And she
Truth.
hilariously runs off. I busted out laughing when I first saw it. But what I didn't expect is I didn't expect it would get 42,000 views, 1,100 likes, and about 900 comments. But guys, it's the comments that caught my attention. It's the nasty racist trolls on TikTok got a hold of this video. And you can imagine what happened. Let me read some of these actual comments from her video. Let me pull it up. And some of them are really, really nasty. I'm pulling them up live on the show so we can see it. It says, for example, here we go. They didn't shoot any of the Black Panthers when they raided the Capitol. And feel free to respond as I'm talking, because I don't know. Okay. You know, then they said, you know, they shot a girl. You know that, right? Notice no race in mind because actions determine your fate. And there's the race card. Poor me.
They fired one shot the entire day. Don't give me that BS. They fired one shot. Come on now.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of people brought up the Black Panthers. Ever heard of the Black Panthers? They did it armed, and not one of them was arrested or shot. Do your research, child. Right? So I just want to point out the Black Panthers walked into the state capitol in Sacramento armed. But they did not force themselves through barriers. They did not threaten anybody. They did not break, windows, smash windows down. They certainly didn't kill anybody.
Death with a fire extinguisher. Let's make that clear.
Not even relevant. Some people are saying, good. They would have shot her black ass. Good. We saw a bunch of comments saying that. I mean, it was really, really nasty comments all throughout. So
I think the intention of me making the video was, well, one, I was inspired by another girl that made the video, right, or something similar, and I just thought it was cool to just add my twist. So I feel like the intention was not as that deep. I mean, although obviously it's a steep, kind of stark topic, I said they would have shot my black ass. It was still kind of like speaking on a situation that's kind of likely to happen. And I know that there were people saying, well, there are black people in the crowd, but the difference is those black people are also sheep, like the other white people they're joining. So it's kind of, I was kind of more leaning to me.
There were like 10 black people.
Yeah. I can count them on my hands, exactly.
Here's another comment. Someone just won the Oscar for playing the Best Victim Award. They didn't shoot you in Seattle, Portland, Chicago. At least they went to the source of the problem in the U.S. and didn't destroy their own businesses and neighborhoods.
No, they brought zip ties. They bought Molotov cocktails. They bought guns, and they were trying to get at the very fiber and fabric of the U.S. government. They were trying to destroy our government.
Another one.
And they were also
it's crazy. And they said that's funny because they didn't have a problem. He said you didn't have a problem with police burning down police stations, businesses, cars, and buildings over the past year.
Well, those police don't shoot black folks either. I mean, we could go tip for tat if you want to, folks. But see, let me just say this. Because this will be my response. One of the reasons why I am very hesitant to get on social media as myself is because of this very thing. When I worked for Sports Illustrated, I couldn't really respond to people the way I wanted to. So I didn't tweet often because my Twitter handle was under the Sports Illustrated umbrella. And you know me, I pop off at the mouth in 2 seconds. It does not take much. But I can't do that when I'm representing my brand. So even though they would always, email me, you need to tweet more, you need to tweet more, I would just retweet stuff because I'm like, I can't deal. But the one time I did, I had a friend who coaxed me into an argument that she was having with someone. One of my, former friends, actually, and a white young lady. And the person that she was arguing with, their response to me was, "Shut up, N-word. Shut up, nigger." On Twitter. On Twitter. Not only on Twitter, but on my business account.
This is going to get us banned from TikTok.
We don't
We're live on TikTok right now.
They said it to me. They said it to me. And if y'all not going to ban the people that are coming at Gianni, you better not ban me.
That's true.
But anyway.
No, they're doing that. I want to just point out one thing real quick. They are doing that on TikTok. They are silencing a lot of Black creators who are talking about the people who are doing all the N-words, but then they're not banning the people who are actually saying the N-word. But go ahead.
But my point is that it took a lot for me not to respond to that. So all I did was I retweeted, this is what happens to a Black woman on Twitter. And then my white colleagues, they retweeted what I said. This is what our young Black female colleague has to go through. And so I learned in that moment, I can't really go back and forth with people on social media. I don't read, even when I was still at Sports Illustrated and I would write something and then they would put the article on social media and then people would comment. I don't read the comments. Yep. I try not to engage people. And so what I want to say to you, Gianni, is one, keep your head up. Keep your head up. There was nothing wrong with that video that you posted. No. It was very innocuous. You spoke
funny.
the truth.
It's hilarious to me.
You didn't offend anybody. You didn't call anybody out of their name. So I would just say, keep on keeping on. Just do what you do, and then let others just say whatever they want to say to the side. Yep. Because if you keep looking at the comments, if you are tempted to engage, it's going to drive you crazy. And it's going to hurt your feelings, and it's going to make the next video that you do less authentic. And I always want you to be your authentic. You do great videos for us. So just keep doing what you're doing. Ignore all of that other nonsense.
Look at this. So somebody said once a victim, always a victim. But they also said, another person said, when she says they would have shot my Black ass if I were there, person said, pity you weren't there. I mean, really? I mean, this is the type of thing we're dealing with. And it's, I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, they get worse. They get way worse.
That situation would be like, pull up. Pull up.
That's what it makes me feel like.
Robbie, any quick thoughts?
That's why I don't respond.
Yeah. It's, I mean, the standard rule of the internet is don't feed the trolls. And if you notice, the people who are inflammatory online have a tendency to not share their image on their profiles.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there. That's true.
Exactly. If social media were responsible and forced you to post everything as you, as your persona, a lot of people would lose their thunder. A lot of people would lose their fight because you don't speak like that. You don't say things like that. And unfortunately, the internet has emboldened a demographic that is very sad and unhappy with themselves, who are angry and are just happy to lash out at anybody. Haters are going to hate. Keep generating that content. Keep speaking your truth, because to me, that it's what you did is relevant commentary. It absolutely is. This has been a real education for me over the last year, and what I have witnessed in America through the media. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a heavy-handed response if you don't look like me.
Mike Winter's on TikTok. He said, Gianni Storm, your video is fire. This Duke alumnus supports you here in DC.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Wow.
All right, so quick comments. So Salai says, the TikTok was facts. Ignoring the comments is practicing self-care. That's true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I there was at one point I had to reach out to Gianni because I'm like, Gianni might be internalizing some of this because some of this was intense.
Defensive.
It's actually for both of you. my best advice would be, you know, just ignore it. Like as we move forward,
it doesn't bother me.
Hopefully, as we move forward, we be able to hire a moderator, someone who gets paid to, you know, deal with all that content.
Oh, trust me,
But
I'm about to get some people banned.
just for your sanity, Gianni, I would not pay attention to it because it will eventually hurt your feelings.
Yeah,
And it will
it
drive
can
you nuts.
eventually affect you.
It will affect how you want to express yourself in the future. And again, I want you to be your authentic self.
Yep.
I want you to be happy, Gianni, you know, doing your thing. So don't just turn it off. Just turn it off.
All right. So Kevin Thatcher says the Black Panthers didn't assault the federal building, nor did they try to overthrow the government. Good points. I mean, like I say, all the Black Panthers. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many comments were on these Black Panthers.
These are not the most educated folks. These are not the most educated folks. I had them rip someone to shreds earlier today for their ignorance and their false information.
George Fournier says reprehensible. Trump incited this group and should pay the consequences. There needs to be a record of what has taken place. Jose says, incredible what I have learned this past year and continue to learn about people. All right, and then Jacqueline Robb said, exactly, it was all in good fun, but a stuck dog will always holler. Fascinating how these people go from zero to violence in 2 seconds flat. All right, guys, we got to move on to the last hot topic. That was a good hot topic.